Hi friends, welcome back to another session of EC Made Easy. We are in our first section wherein we are looking at the various components like resistors, inductors and capacitance. We have seen the basics of these three RLC and now we are into a little details of what the components are, how they can be useful with day-to-day examples. So today let us take up some details about the inductance. As we discussed in our previous session, inductance is a property of any conductor that is to oppose the change in current. So as long as there is no change in the current, the inductance doesn't show its presence, but the moment current starts to change, an electromotive force is induced, and that induced electromotive force is in a direction such that it produces an equal and opposite current that is equal to the change in current, so that this opposite current hence produced opposes this change in current, and thereby tries to maintain the constant current flowing through it. The more number of turns, the higher will be the inductance effect, the higher will be the electromotive force, and hence higher will be the opposition. So that's the property of inductance. It has something to do with the kinetic energy. And kinetic energy, the moment you say, what comes into mind is the momentum. So momentum of any body tries to maintain the velocity constant. Here we are talking about electrons as the body. They are moving, and the velocity of the body needs to be constant because of its momentum. That's a property of the conductor. So whenever there is current flowing, whenever there is motion of electron, there is magnetic field, and this magnetic field cannot instantaneously change, and this property is going to create all the effects we hence call about the effect of inductance. A simple example I can give now is for a pillion rider who is riding on a bike. So when the bike is stationary, the pillion rider is also stationary. So the whole system is in equilibrium. So nothing to discuss much about it. Suppose there is a sudden acceleration is given to the bike. Now what would happen? Definitely, the pillion rider cannot follow the position of the bike, as the bike suddenly gets accelerated due to the force produced by the engine by burning the fuel and all that, and the momentum of the pillion rider will not allow to make sudden changes, and hence the pillion rider falls behind. So pillion rider falls behind. This is because the momentum of the rider does not allow him to suddenly change his velocity, and because of which the bike's moves forward and the person sitting behind as a pillion rider cannot move with the bike and hence he falls behind the bike. So another situation, let the bike is stationary and slowly increases its speed. So that means the pillion rider has got sufficient time to get a increased momentum and hence the rider will follow the bike. So he can just move with the bike with no problem. Now, bike is moving at some constant velocity. Then something on the road, there is an obstruction which suddenly appears, and hence there is a sudden brake applied by the rider. The moment brake is applied, because of the energy dissipated by the braking system and all that, the bike suddenly comes to halt. But what would happen to the rider, pillion rider? So pillion rider's momentum is there because of this constant speed that cannot change instantaneously, and because of this we find an effect which says this pillion rider is pushed ahead of the bike and he eventually falls down, but now in front of the bike, not behind the bike. Earlier fall behind the bike, this time falls ahead of the bike. So this is what is the analogy we can give. The momentum of the body is equivalent to the inductance, and the inductance will not allow the sudden changes in the current. Momentum of the body will not allow sudden changes in the velocity of the body. So we can correlate these things and say that always the inductance is trying to oppose the change in current. So whenever you have an inductor, whenever you have an inductor, and the basic property of the inductor is to make sure that this current remains constant. Even if there is some driving force which tries to change this current, so there will be an equal and opposite EMF produced across the inductor, which produces a reverse current which is equal to the change in current. So whatever change in current you are finding here, the same change in current is produced because of this back EMF, and because of which these two cancel each other, and hence the current tries to remain constant. That's how the effect of inductance is. So how can we make use of all these things? So wherever you need 2 points to have different voltages, whenever you want 2 points to be maintained at different voltages, then you can make sure to use a resistor. And when when you want to store energy in the form of electric field, you can make use of capacitor, or when you want to allow only changes, when you want to allow only changes, you can use a capacitor, or when you don't want to allow changes, use an inductor. So, series resistance will allow two ends of the circuit having different voltages. The capacitor can be used for allowing only changes in the voltage, changes in the current, whereas inductor can be used when you don't want to allow changes. So this can be considered in various forms. So if you take it in series, then if you use capacitor in series, then we say that from input to output, the changes are allowed. If you use an inductor here, from between input and output, you say that only no non-changing uh, parameters are allowed. Instead, if you use them in shunt, then if you use a capacitance in shunt, it bypasses changes. That means constants are forwarded. If you use an inductor across the output, then it says it will not allow variations, then all variations will be forwarded. So this is the basic concept of the filtering action. More details to follow. So till then, take care. Bye.